for you New World fans, boys. We are going to watch the entire bloody team New World update.
Hi everybody, my name's Greg Henniger.
Let's go, Greg.
Something that a lot of players are talking about right now, they're very concerned about, and they would like a little bit more information. You know, as we've been updating the game recently with our, game updates and patches, there seems to be an introduction of more new issues while we're trying to fix other game issues. Can you talk a little bit about how we're going to work to prevent some of that?
Yeah, that has been a problem.
This is like such an awesome start from Greg to address such a massive thing. Like, we always fuck about. We are always joking. Every time they release a patch, they fuck up something else. And it's so nice that they've like started off
the game recently
with a really
with our,
difficult question.
Game updates and patches. There seems to be an introduction of more new issues while we're trying to fix other game issues. Can you talk a little bit about how we're going to work to prevent some of that?
Yeah, that has been a problem. We've introduced some new issues with some of the patches we've made. We've done 19 patches since release, which is kind of a blistering pace. And so we're going to focus a lot on better testing, longer testing, making sure that we've got something fully ready for release.
But when we were watching the game live, we saw problems that were bothering us, and it's like it just hurts in your stomach when you see players struggling with things. So we were trying to get 50, 60 things fixed a week, and that left us, not enough testing, and it was. Like Rich said, we were trying to go too fast. We were trying to fix more than we could.
So quick recap there. They're trying hard to fix too many things too quickly, and they're admitting that they're missing things. So by the sounds of it, there's going to be longer time between the patches, but fixing more things hopefully, and not breaking things as they fix things.
Great way to, and you'll see us using PTR continuously, basically going forward for all major new features.
Yeah, even further, like on the November release, we didn't really have a chance to respond to what the players told us were the problems. Mm-hmm. On the December release, you're going to see that we actually were able to respond to a significant number, and we're going to, like Rich said, we're going to add even more time for January and going forward.
That's cool.
And so would you say that the best?
We all said that as well. Like the first time we saw the PTR, we all went on there. Loads of bugs were discussed or issues were raised, and then the patch still came out. Whether the pressure from whatever they released a patch, they wanted to get it out, which was on one hand really, really awesome that we got a new patch, but at the same time that's when all those bugs appeared and the trading post went down, and it was all it was a mess, and everyone was raging and rioting. But this is cool, man. You can clearly see already that the winter patch has come out, and there's some issues, but it doesn't seem to be as many yet. We're like day 3, so we're still going.
Is the team prioritizing bug fixes and polish right now over new content, or?
It's a little of both, but the number one driver of priority is what has the biggest impact on the player.
If we have a bug as a priority, we put our best people on it. Like we give out every resource it needs. We're not holding back.
Quick recap there. They got a lot of people in the company. They're putting some people on the bugs, and the people that are not on the bugs are working on new features. So there's lots of things going on.
For the next segment, we're going to be talking about the vision and the future of New World.
So at the highest level, the vision is that we wanted to create a world where PvP and PvE players wouldn't just coexist, but they'd complement each other.
That and like you mentioned the dynamic events. I think those are big, and we've got some really cool ones with the corrupted breaches, and players can see those dynamically sprouting up. I wouldn't, I could see us adding more of those, and maybe even some that affect PvP in the future, right? Because I think that the world changing each time you play is pretty cool.
Yeah, and you touched on that earlier.
Dynamic events for PvP.
The balance between PvP.
Big.
Dynamic events will affect PvP.
Corrupted breaches.
That
could mean anything, but I'm excited.
We're going to continue to invest.
PvP side, right? I think we've got really cool large-scale PvP moments with War. It's like one of our best moments, big and dynamic.
Yeah.
Wars are fucking fantastic, but there's so many people right now that don't really want to do the war. I don't want to stream the wars because of there's still a lot of issues. There's the running bug, there's the teleporting, there's still the lag. I hope we'll see how it goes on, but I hope that's kind of spoken about in here as well, because it's nearly there. It's nearly there, man. It's nearly there.
We have something coming out in January, Mutators. This is
January mutators. Expeditions, I think. January.
So we're going to focus on fixing as many bugs. We're going to dive really deep into the balance. We fix balance regularly, weekly and monthly, but we're going to devote February to bugs, balance, and bots.
Next topic, bugs, bots, and bans. Let's see, man. Let's see. Right, that's probably...
Sometime if you're doing something and it's negative and it's affecting other players, but it's not really, terrible. It's just wrong. It's say you're bothering somebody, consistently in game. And we need to make you understand that that's something that you can't do, like you can't harass other players. In those cases, we might often, you're going to get a notice, it's going to tell you why, there will be a period of time that you can't play until you stop this behavior.
I think that's something that I think would support a lot of players. He just mentioned there that it tells you why, but I know some people that got banned, and I know some people that have asked for reasons why, and they don't really get an exact answer. And I know that everyone can't get an exact answer because what the fuck, it's going to take too long. I think maybe that could be a little bit clearer. Like, you got banned because you're a fucking idiot. You got banned because you were trash talking like a noob, man. You can't do that shit in our game. Fine, the line's clear. But I don't know, man. I haven't been banned. Touch wood, I haven't been banned. So I'm just going off what other people have said to me. But then again,
there be pirates.
They could also be lying to me. So that could be kind of a little bit more transparent with why someone's been banned. Maybe.
One thing we don't do is, and I know there have been reports of this, but I just want to make it clear, we don't automatically ban on reports.
Right.
Reports lead to a human investigating the case, trying to figure out what the impact was, looking at the available data, and if there's a conclusion there, like, yes, you as a player did something that was very negative that affect many other players, you might get banned, but that's not something that just happens based on volume of reports or a particularly specific report. It's always an investigation. There's never an automatic step from a player report to a ban.
Right. And
so this is such a topic, right? Because so from my experience, I've heard of someone in our clan who apparently said nothing. Apparently, while we were PvPing against a particular company, who have admitted that they do like to drop those reports out there. They don't like. They don't know. They like to report. Fine. I've heard of one dude that got banned who didn't say anything. Apparently. So what's difficult is that I have to now either trust this guy in my clan or trust this guy on screen. It's so tough. Yeah. So what you're saying, Vtux, could be absolutely right. So we've gone out, we've PvP'd. The enemy don't like us. They want to do whatever they can to make it difficult for us. Fine. They throw some reports out there. Maybe this guy who got banned, who didn't say anything, has fucked up in the past, or has said some stupid shit in the past that has flagged up on a system or an automated. FBI, open up! What the fuck, dude? Yeah. So maybe he's done something in the past, and now he's getting banned because he got reported in that particular fight. It's a really difficult situation. And the one thing that we have seen is if someone's get banned and they go to support, they get responses pretty much instantly. So we can't sit there and say that they don't have people looking at the game 24/7. Wherever they are in the world, it doesn't fucking matter. That there's someone looking there. And what we have heard reports of is that let's say I go online and I go to the report system. I speak to operator number 1. He gives me a particular answer. I don't like his answer. I go to operator number 2. He may give me a slightly different answer. I don't like his either. I go to operator number 3, and he may be a different person. And I think we've seen online as well that there's been some shady conversations going down with some of the operators. And you may get unbanned, or you may have a different response. So there's definitely 100% people there that checks the reports. I do believe that. I just think there's this. I feel like there's like a sea of people who look into the reports, and then all of them deal with things differently because the guidelines are clearly extremely strict. It would be awesome that they could turn around to you and say, right, look, Obi-Wan, motherfucker, you bought something off the auction house that was duped. It was an accident. We'll get you on ban. Or, hey, look, dude, you have been a piece of shit to X amount of people, and we're going to fucking ban you. You're an asshole. Or what you did was this, or what you did was that. And, you know, you can then make that choice for after your 24-hour ban. You know exactly what you did wrong. And here's the list of guidelines. Here's our terms and conditions. And actually, what you can do in other games, we don't want you to do in our game. And this is what we expect when you're playing New World. I feel that would be more helpful, because a lot of us are dickheads online, and depending on what game you play, you can be a little bit more of a dickhead if you want to be, or you can be really, really lovely the whole time. Like, there is varying amounts of twattishness online, and people deal with things. People are different, and I think Amazon don't want any trash talking. They don't want any shit talking. They're really, you know, when you look at them as a company, they're everywhere in the world, fucking everywhere. So they have to have this level of, long story short, you just can't be a twat. You just can't be a twat on their game. And I think that is just the way it is. But, you know, it's that level of what you can and can't say. So I would like to go into a game with an enemy and call him shit and say, ha ha ha, I beat you, you're shit. But not beat. I wouldn't take that as offense if someone said that to me. I would take that as a bit of a, oh man, he kicked my ass and he called me shit. It's a bit of fun. But then on the flip side, someone else could take that really offensively and like get really upset and not play the game. And that's, you know, that's just the way life is at the moment. I think it would be nice to know what we're doing wrong if you get banned. I ain't got banned. You guys are getting banned because you're dickheads. But yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is a tough topic. We'll continue watching, but I think I'm talking bullshit right now. I think you get where I'm going with this.
Our customer support and moderation team, they're able to see the history of how often you've been reported, of the ban history or suspension history, and that is considered. So if you keep going back, even though we've
Do you think what she just said there is potentially something that's happened to a lot of you guys? Let's say I'm a support staff, right? She just said that you can see the amount of times you've been reported, right? So I'm playing the game, someone reports me 100 times, it gets sent through to a support staff, and they see 100 reports come in. You are instantly going to think that guy is a prick. I would ban him. I'd be like, look at this guy, man. He's just got 100 reports. He must be a prick. Fucking ban that twat. That may happen. So long story short, if you get reported multiple times, they can see how many times you've been reported. They are telling us that it is not an automated system. It is not an automated system. It's done by a human, but that human can see how many times you've been reported. And I think all of us can agree that if someone gets reported 100 times, there is a good chance that person who's got reported has been an asshole. Now they're getting to know that people are using these things as tactics to fuck up the enemy. As a few of you guys have said today, you've been reported and you don't think you've done something wrong. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but we don't get clarity on why you've been banned. Clarity would be nice. I don't know, man. I'm just speculating here. It is a massive topic, and I don't know. That's the conclusion of what they've.
So we actually encourage people, like, if you think something might be an exploit, go and test it on the PTR, and then report it to us that way, because no harm, no foul. If you're on the PTR, you're not really breaking any live server economy, so it's fine.
We don't want to broadcast that. We don't want to have to take the trade post down.
Okay, so what they're suggesting is if you find a bug or an exploit or something like that, message them directly on the forums rather than making a YouTube video about it, or actually using their report feature on the forums, message them directly, or as Snapper says, post it to Reddit. I don't know, dude. I feel like there's two that's a double, is what I'm saying, a double-edged sword. You know, if you post it to them privately, you don't know how long it's going to take to be fixed, and potentially other people's using it. If you pop it out on Reddit, everyone uses it, and then it's fixed within, well, it's a number one priority to be fixed. But in the all singing or dancing world, boys, if you find a bug or an exploit, DM the team through the forums. Do what you feel is right. But yeah, that is an avenue that they want us to take via the forums. Let us continue.
It can have domino effects.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, awesome. Thanks for your time. We have a lot more coming up to talk about New World, so stick around. Okay, and for this next segment, we're going to be talking about a new feature coming to New World.
Expedition Mutations,
Okay.
like for the week. So what you're trying to do is climb up that ladder, and it's going to challenge like your gear and your level. And so every time you pass a certain score threshold, you unlock the next mutation level. And so
I'm reading you boys in chat. So for me, I'm not a WoW player. I've never done Mythic Plus. I know nothing about it. But it's clear that you guys think it's a very similar system. And I fucking love if they're taking something from another game that's been successful and doing their own thing in New World. Fucking bring it on, man. That for me is spot on. This so from my experience, obviously Guild Wars, it reminds me of something called Fractals. Fractals, I think it used to be called, and it's the same thing. You pass level 1, level 2 gets harder, level 3 gets harder, level 4 gets harder. It's a fucking simple system, but what it sounds like they're doing is every time you complete a particular level, you're gonna get some new stuff, gear, weapons potentially, visuals maybe, just who knows, but
you're going to get
just a quick request from me, someone whose storage is absolutely shit. If you're going to be asking us to do all these mutations, please, can I have like a closet for my mining gear and a closet for my my harvesting gear, and then a closet for my expedition gear, please, so I can, little brain Dan doesn't have to look at one area with all of our armor in. That would help me. Thank you.
Awesome.
multiple times every day.
Yeah, and so you were just touching on like when we might see this. Rob?
January.
January?
Yeah, you'll see it on PTR in January, and then
Hey.
it's coming up soon, the release. It kind of depends on a lot of factors.
Let's go.
Right on. Thanks, guys. I think everyone's going to be really excited about the mutators and how they're going to change up the game.
It's pretty cool. What do you guys think of the Mythic Plus Fractal Guild Wars style coming to New World? I mean, I think it's I think we spoke about it ages ago. Probably one of our first few streams when we heard about the dungeons, the expeditions. We wanted difficulty levels. We didn't know on how or why or how they could do it. You know, how, why, when, where, what they could do it. But this sounds like a pretty cool system. It doesn't sound like they're going to reduce the initial dungeon cost, or as they've called it, the vanilla dungeons. But to do the mutators, it's going to be cheaper, and it's going to be something that they're wanting you to do on a daily basis, or suggesting that you do on a daily basis. Oh no, not more dailies. Oh no, no more dailies, please.
You know, there's players who are talking about the Fire Staff and maybe the Ice Gauntlet being underpowered. Do you agree, or?
I think they're in a really close place. There was some pretty significant changes to them recently, and I know those weren't super well received, but they're a lot closer to the other weapons than they used to be. We are looking at a few things in the very near future that are going to amp them up just a little more, in particular for the Fire Staff.
Spoiler, Fire and Ice getting a cheeky little buff, boys. Sounds a little bit like what's this saying? Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. Too many cooks, not enough eaters. I don't know that saying. So I don't know how to develop shit. I know nothing, and I'll never try to pretend to. But it sounds like the way it works is like here's the build, and then person A will come in and make a change. They'll log out. Person B will come in, make a change, and log out. Person C will come in, make a change, and log out. And there's kind of lots of different team members having their opinion. But that's an interesting. I don't know how it works. So that was interesting for me. I like your input there.
It may seem like it's a simple thing,
Possibly sprinter.
but it is very complex.
Right.
And my dad always said that complex problems have simple, easy to understand, wrong solutions. And that's where we have definitively landed with the patch notes. But it is something that we're working on and we're trying to do better. We want to make ourselves like the gold standard of this, and we're falling short of that at this time. So it's a priority for my team in particular.
Awesome.
That was balance and tuning. Long story short, I think the summary there is they're holding their hands up. They missed a lot of stuff on the patch notes. They said fucking sorry about that. They're working on it. Stop moaning, boys.
These gentlemen are heavily involved. Okay, and speaking of weapons kind of pairing together, can you talk about the blunderbuss and how it might be different from the musket?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about it.
Yeah.
So the blunderbuss, a really exciting new weapon we'll be coming out with pretty soon here.
Fucking A, boys!
When you think of the musket, it's a little more of a strategic weapon. It's a longer range, a little lower rate of fire, all those type of things. But when you get to the blunderbuss, you're going to think more excitement, more explosion, a little more chaotic, I would call it. There's some navigational tools on it, which are really exciting.
Fucking A,
and a little more of a run and gun style. So,
what do you reckon it's going to scale off? I think strength. I'm thinking strength based. Don't you think strength? Stewie dex, stab strength for sure. Hero for the dex, tank strength dex. Yeah, it could be a split. Strength int, strength dex. So we're thinking along the lines of strength dex is the main. I would love a fucking shotgun, man. Boom, boom, boom.
The greatsword. Can you tell me anything about it?
We are working on a great sword. I think we've heard it. I think it's going to be an awesome weapon. We talked about wanting to change up gameplay with each weapon. Don't want to give away too much yet about the greatsword, but
come on, man.
I think it'll have this concept of stance switching and having different modes within the weapon that I think will be really special and bring something new to the table.
Okay.
This is exciting, dude.
Another thing people are also asking a lot about is daggers. Is that something coming down the road, or?
Daggers are definitely a crowd favorite. We have a lot of different weapons on our table that we're looking at to make after the greatsword, and I think it's definitely at the table. I don't think it's
a big table.
It's a pretty large table with a lot of different weapons on it, and I think it's one that is near the front, but it's not quite there yet.
And another one of the last questions that we see just asked constantly is, when can I use a shield and another single-handed weapon?
Yeah.
That one hasn't made the table yet.
Oh,
I just want to be a little.
That one's still outside knocking on the door.
It's trying to get a seat at the table, and it's something we really want to do. But it's actually a really large endeavor for us to accomplish this.
I was a big great axe hammer sword user, so. But that recently the meta is shifting a little bit, which is cool in a game. So looking for my new pairing.
I love this.
Yeah,
man.
I always run sword.
That's fucking cool. A great sword is on the table and is coming soonish. Blunderbuss looks like it's going to be the next weapon coming into the game, which I'm fucking well excited, man. And I think we think today is going to be a strength or a dex or a strength and dex based weapon to some extent. Daggers are there, but they're not implemented yet. And what wasn't at the table? Oh yeah, the shield being combined with other weapons.
These expeditions, arenas, which I think is some of the most fun and difficult content in the game that no one's really doing. So we really wanted to bring people to all the content we have.
Just gotta say, I did my first arenas the last couple of days, and maybe we're just fucking fantastic. Maybe, but they were not challenging. They were not challenging. I'd love to see them. Maybe the mutation system will come to the arenas too. But at the moment, my dude, they're not that hard.
Sure.
The other thing too is when we do raise our gear score, we want to attach that to some good meaty content. We don't just want to raise it just because, if that makes sense. We want to make sure that there's a reason that you need to get to, above 600 gear score now.
What he said was that there's a lot of players who haven't reached the 590 expertise yet. Most of them may have uninstalled the game. But no, I think there's a lot of things that we still need to raise up. He's just said, when we decide to raise the watermark, there's going to be a fucking reason for it. So fighting a new boss or a new zone or some shit like that. So pretty cool.
So some players have expressed frustration with the quest flow and the travel times to get between quests. Or how are we addressing stuff like that, Mike?
So we're taking like a multi-pronged approach to addressing a lot of those things. So first thing
First thing we're going to do is we're going to allow you to build boats at Dynasty Shipyard. You can build a Viking boat or a pirate ship or a trade ship. And instead of walking from or teleporting from Eden Grove down to First Light, you can get on a fucking boat. You can sail down a river. And if you come across some enemies, you can fight each other off the boats and stuff. It'll be awesome. And then you can sail all the way around the island, get down to First Light, and then pull into the First Light port. That's what he's going to say.
you notice, and I believe this was in the November release, as you run faster on roads. So,
damn it! I was close. I absolutely agree with you, Sweatpants. You know, I've seen in lots of other games where they bring in this kind of cinematic. You know, remember when you like first came in over the hill from the tutorial? I'm not talking shit. Come on, man. When you come out of the tutorial and you cross over the hill and you see fucking Eternum for the first time, that's super cool. I like the idea too. As the story continues and things as things progress, there's the cinematics instead of just reading a note or something like that on the major parts of the story. There's some sort of cinematic that leads you through the story.
We'll all check it out together.
Well done, Greg.
That was
Baby, don't hurt me.
Fucking hell, man.
Don't hurt me.
Oh, Greg and
No more.
Scott are gonna jump into a dance then. Boy, fuck off. Let's watch the final thoughts, and then I want to hear all of your comments, boys. Be good to have a quick chat before we wrap up.
We got through a lot, and I just want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that made it to the end of this video. All of these questions we pulled from the forums, from social, they all came from the community. So I really hope that you found it informative, and that some of the things you were wondering about, you now have answers to. And we gave you a little bit of a look at what's coming in the future, what we're doing behind the scenes. So thank you.
Yeah, we just appreciate the feedback. We are so excited to answer questions and do this. As a matter of fact, if we hear from the community that this was beneficial and you like this, we'll be happy to do it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did want to comment that we also heard you loud and clear that you wanted to see the devs do a run through Merkgard. We did it. We'll be releasing it in a few days.
Let's go.
How'd you do?
So we were way under geared.
Uh-huh.
So our gear was 509.
Here
We
it
should have been
comes.
around 570. And my disclaimer is our PEX lead was in Tampa Bay watching Buffalo
Classic.
lose that close game. So we lost our best player. But we held in there a little bit, so we'll let you all judge how we did.
Yeah, the world will get to judge. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us.
Thanks.
That was awesome, man. Imagine, like, genuinely, if they managed to get through Merkgard under geared and like just, oh man, it's going to be a big, to everyone who's been moaning that it's too difficult, man. That'll be bloody brilliant. That'll be brilliant. I mean, what do you boys think, man? I think, personally, I think it's brilliant. Brilliant that they've done this. I think it's, you know, I don't know who's orchestrated this. Greg has obviously done a lot of the hard work here, but this definitely should have been done sooner. But I think it's awesome that they've managed to bring something like this to the table. I think, like I mentioned earlier, it'd be awesome if they brought something like this to Twitch as well, because that live interaction versus potentially a scripted video or, you know, predetermined questions is a really different environment. And obviously Amazon own Twitch, right? So it would be cool to see them have a bit of a presence on Twitch. But I also know at the same time there's so many things that go on, and they've mentioned that there's a massive team that potentially that might be too difficult because people might not know the answers, and it might backfire on them, and it may be even more difficult. But this is fucking awesome, and I think they've done a really good job here. But quite a lot of effort to put this together. I'm sure it is. So if they can do this once a month or once every couple of months, then this is cool. There's a lot of good things in here. It's really awesome to watch through it all. What I'm going to do personally is I'm going to break down my video probably and highlight the more interesting stuff that we've seen and spoken about. In the meantime, BDLG spent the last few hours while I've been sleeping. He's put a big summary together of everything that we've gone through today. Massive update, to be honest. So if you wanted to have a read through or share stuff, he's put a lot of effort into that. Let me close this down. And yeah, that's it, boys. I have a few bits I'm going to be trying to do. I'm really trying to do a bit more YouTubing from time to time. So I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna head over there and do a bit of recording. I'm gonna go and eat some food, and yeah, I'm hoping I'll be back on for a full stream tomorrow. So if you're around tomorrow, hop on. It'll be good to hang out with you boys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Love you.